Welcome, everyone, to this training on social media marketing and how to start a social media marketing agency going from zero to $10,000 per month, meaning you don't need really any startup capital. You just need the skills to be able to run an agency and just get it off the ground at least, right? So I'm just going to be teaching you guys a lot of mindset and practical detailed techniques on how to launch and just the frameworks. I don't know what you guys have learned. There's a lot of different teachings and a lot of different opinions on this type of service and this business model. So this is just personally from my own experience over the last handful of years working with several companies and being on the back end when this really just launched off and started trending here in the last decade, and you could say the last half of the decade from 2010 to 2020. So I just wanted to show you guys and really break down anything you guys thought on the model and answer some questions. Give this out because it's just from my experience. So let's get started. So this is what we're going to be covering today. A few key topics on social media marketing and what it really is, what social media marketing really is, the definition, what we actually focus on as business owners, as marketers, what clients care about, the different niches to market to, what services to offer, where to find leads, finding contractors, and then at the end, I'm going to give you a free resource on the whole framework and actually how to find leads. So this is going to be a very practical training as far as just lifting this off and getting it off the ground. So I'll give you a free resource, a little PDF guide that you guys can use to consistently find clients. So before we get started, I just wanted you guys to have no distractions, okay? So close out all your tabs. I want your full undivided attention. I want this to be something that you guys are just taking notes on. So make sure you guys put your phone on do not disturb. Yeah, this next hour, I just want you guys to really have your attention so then you guys can really break through this and just get some wisdom on this topic, new information and different ways of thinking on what you thought social media marketing was. And that's what I like to do. I like to break thinkings, barriers, and limiting beliefs. So make sure you guys close all your tabs. Prioritize your success. Okay, so social media will still be there. So prioritize learning. It's more on what you learn. What's your E versus E ratio? Your education versus entertainment ratio. Social media will still be there. So put all distractions aside and prioritize your success, because what I'm about to share is some real tangible information. I don't know how many webinars or trainings you guys have done. It's good to have all types of training and information, but I'm going to give you guys some real information. This is seriously no fluff. No fluff at all. You guys are going to be blown away. I want you guys to really, by the end of this, be like, man, I can actually start an agency and run one efficiently and effectively with what you've just learned in this session here. So at the end, I'll give you guys the 5 platforms I use to find leads online with a full PDF. I'll even create a short training, breaking it down, teaching you guys exactly what I do and how I find leads, because that seems to be a big issue. And then obviously getting the results for it, but I'll be sharing that as well in this training. So a little quick thing about me. I'm not going to be going half an hour to 45 minutes about who I am. I just want to give you guys briefly who I am if we haven't met before or you don't really know. I'm a digital marketer, I'm an investor, and I'm a preacher. So I do share God's word and I just share my beliefs, right? My values. And I know everyone has different beliefs and values. And that's something also you start to break down over time, your values and beliefs on business, on who you are and how you operate and why you operate at the level you do, right? So my whole motto between marketing and helping other businesses, other brands is I like to change the world by promoting talented artists, innovative products, and positive movements. And this is pretty much what I do. So me and my agency, we build luxury personality and e-commerce brands. That's my niche. That's what I really dive deep into. And that's actually my background. And I'll share with you guys a little bit more of why I went into this industry at the end. So I've done speaking. This is just me sharing my story. Since 2013, I started in this online marketing type industry. I got into direct sales, building teams, learning a lot about how to train and how to share your story effectively. So that's how I got started back in 2013. So I've been in this industry for quite a while, learning a lot. My last few years, I really dive deep into working with Tai Lopez side by side, and I have a whole YouTube video on my experience on this. I'm creating like a whole series on it. So I worked with Tai Lopez my third year there. I was leading the sales team, so I learned a lot about marketing. And when back in 2016, when he launched his marketing course, I was consulting tons of different agencies. So I learned a lot in the field, and that's a whole nother story. This is me at his office right after we were playing ping pong. The more you learn, the more you earn. This is like what Tai is about. Whether you like him or you don't, there's a lot of things that you can learn from him, right? There's a lot of things you can learn from people you don't like. You don't need to take everything. Just take the things you like and move forward. It's just about being open-minded. And then this was just a picture of when we were hosting events. Someone just took a picture of me while I was texting, and we were really running this. It was the morning. We had a lot of people coming in, guests checked in. So someone got a nice picture with behind Tai's cars. Okay, it's cool. This is me training the sales team back in the day, just so we can effectively build and grow and scale the company with Tai's digital products. So I was doing a training, done a ton of this, taught a lot of the team. This was just them. So I expect you guys to be taking notes just like these guys. Okay. Peter Vu, I met him at one of Tai's mastermind. Really cool guy. He really inspired me, his 6 months to six figures and his podcast. So I really, really vibed with his mindset back in the day to really get me to that level of thinking. I was on stage for Tony Robbins. I did a whole year in 2017 with Tony Robbins, where I literally was able to just learn a lot about the community. But the biggest thing I got was connections. And this was a very, very interesting moment. I might launch this video later down the line. But this was, me and Tony Robbins on stage. Very unique moment for me. And then I went back in the day training with Les Brown. I believe this was like 2014, 2015. It was like 100 people in a room. We did an intimate training on how to effectively share your story with Les Brown, man. He's a legend. Love his stuff. This is just stuff from me. This was earlier in 2019 when I launched, or when I landed my first biggest client in January of 2019. So I'm just sharing some wins here. I had another month where we did 11K. This was just over the summer of 2019, me and my agency. This one of my biggest weeks, where we closed almost 7K just that week alone. It was a really great opportunity. And then this is just more invoices from PayPal. So I took Stripe and PayPal were my biggest ways of how I took client payments. So this is just me scaling my agency to a different level. These are one of the e-commerce shops we have managed just in 2019. In 1 month, from May 1st to the 31st, we did 45K. The month before that was our biggest month of the year, where we did 61K, which was insane with like the launches and how we framed that. And then overall, this was one of our stores where we did the whole year of all 2019. I did almost $500,000 in sales. So I've been able to see the convergence, how brands grow. These are just different ways of how I've grown over the year of 2019. It was such a blessed year for me. So I want to share this going into the new decade with you guys as far as the new information. So what is social media marketing? Yeah, what is social media marketing? I want to make this simple so you guys can just consume it in bite size. But social media marketing, we are a service-based business. So we are a business to business. We service other businesses and help them grow their online presence, pretty much, right? And there's so many different types of services you can offer as an agency, but to make it super clear, we are a service-based business. And a few examples of other service-based businesses are accountants, people that help with credit. They might be helping other businesses with credit line. Accountants help other businesses with their accounting, right? And their books. And then another business is WeWork. They help other businesses with office space, right? That's what's been a lot more popular nowadays, is living that laptop lifestyle or having a nicer office in a space where you can share it with other people as well. So this has been the new wave, and WeWork caught on a trend and they've been able to scale that. So these are other examples of service-based businesses serving business to business. So what do we focus on? Our main focus is just to bring value to people, right? We bring value to people, and then we're solving a business's problems by getting them leads and customers. That's as simple as it is. The reason why you post content, the reason why you do social media management is because you want to be able to solve the problems, right, but also we solve their problem by getting them exposure that ultimately leads to customers and like I said, leads. So that's our whole process. That's exactly what we're focused on. That's why we do what we do every single day, whether you're sending emails, you're posting on different platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn for them. It's all exposure to grab leads to get the attention of the ideal clients, customers. And then the last thing is we get paid not on the time we put in, but the amount of value we give. A lot of people say, well, how many hours do you put, right? Like, if I put 20, 30 hours a week for this client, then it'll be worth. No, it's not the amount of time. It's the value we give. And the value is actually in direct proportion to the results that are driven in that business, right? The metrics and results of the type of service that we've promised. So we get paid on the time, not on the time, but in the amount of value. You can work 2 hours on a client per week versus 20 hours. But if you get them results in those 2 hours, then the amount of time you put in is almost irrelevant. So we get paid on value, not on time. I'll give you guys a practical example of why they'd hire an agency versus an employee. So with employees, they can pay them an easy 3 to 5K per month salary with adding payroll tax, insurance, and then it's just other stuff, right? Other things that are unpredictable, and you're just paying one person. So this is why they would hire an agency versus an employee, because the agency, you can literally go from $1,000 to $10,000 per month, and there's no hidden costs. Like, hey, they're going to pay you that $5,000, that $3,000 per month to run their marketing, and there's no other extra hidden costs. Where as an employee, there's so many things, right? So many different types of insurance, so much different factors of having to pay them that it's almost unpredictable for the company. So this is another way of you being able, and also your agency, let's say it's you and two other contractors and a VA, they're initially for 3 to 5 grand or up to 10 grand. They're hiring a whole team for what they can be paying one employee. In an agency, you guys are specialized. You guys know what you're doing, right? You know how to drive the results. You're acting more as like a contractor, an outside source to be able to provide the solution versus the employee that might not have that type of training. So you operate different. There's a different type of mindset. And with an agency, they can always end with the contract with a 30-day notice. And that's how we lay down our contracts. So then it's just mutual, right? So this is the difference between why they'd hire an employee versus an agency, whether it's short-term, long-term, whatever it is. There's a lot of different things and factors that an owner, a business owner, and there's a lot of upsides to why they should hire us as the agency to work and market for their brand. So I'm going to talk about thinking different, right? Thinking different, how less is actually more. Okay. And this is a quick example of a bag, a paper bag, brown paper bag with a whole bunch of fruits in it, a whole bunch of fruits, vegetables, whatever you want, right? You're just filling up the bag and it looks overflow, right? It's like filled up plus a little bit more. So just to give you guys a quick analogy, the offer equals the bag. So this is our offer. We're offering something to our client, right? We're offering them something. And what we perceive is the more we put in, the more things we put in, the more fruits, the more vegetables we stuff into this offer, into this bag, we perceive that we actually are giving more value to the client. And that is not how we do it as an agency. This is not a scalable business model at all, right? And I teach a lot about this because the new wave of agency owners is changing, it's shifting, it's evolving with how business is run. And a lot of us think that if we just stuff the bag with a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables, a ton of different services, then we're really showing value to our client. But in reality, it's actually hurting us long term. It's really hurting us long term. And that's not what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you guys how to be a little bit more specialized than offering multiple general services. This is how you experience burnout and a ton of different problems down the line when scaling your agency. Trust me, I've offered so many services, burnt myself out from 1-2 clients a month. And when I became more specialized, the game changed. So people don't care about your qualifications, your suit, your office, your book, or your partnerships. People don't care about this stuff. They don't care if you're qualified, if you dress nice, if you have a fancy office, if you wrote a book, or the partnership pretty much. That's not the first thing they care about. They care really about the transformation and the results that you're giving them in their business. This is how you create long-term business with clients, is what is the transformation you can do in their business, and what are the results that you can produce for them long term, right? So real quick, just so you understand, when we go back to transformations and results, what are you selling them on? We're selling them on from their current state, their current self, where they're at, to their desired self, to where they desire to be. We're selling them on the outcome. We're selling them on the transformation, on the results that they can get by partnering up with us, by working with us. That's exactly why these businesses hire us, because of the future outcome, the desired outcome of what they're going to get by partnering up with our services. So our question is, what is the minimum amount of things you can do to bridge the gap for your target niche? What is the minimum amount of things that you can offer as a business, as a marketing agency, to your client, to bridge, to connect that current self to the desired self, right? What is that? What is it? And we dive deep. We go really, really deep on this concept on how to do this. So what I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know what you've learned out there, but we're going to say bye to these things. And this will actually change the game for your business forever. Trust me, like I said, I've done this multiple times. I've actually sent out hundreds of proposals. I share deliverables. I do hour by hour pay, deliverable hours. I did packages. None of these actually play a huge role or effect. When a client actually asks me for a proposal, what they're really saying is, I don't trust you yet. Give me some time to think about it. But you know what? Go ahead and waste your time and send a proposal. I don't know what you guys have experienced, but I've done this, like I said, over hundreds of proposals to tons of clients, and it's never worked. So say bye-bye to all these. This is not how I run my agency. So if you were taught this, or if this actually works for you, that's awesome. But I'm telling you guys, we're in a new wave, a new stage, and this is what I even teach my clients on how to get their type of clients and customers too. So real quick, let's just break it down, just like I promised, like what we're going to be covering. What is a niche? A niche is a part of the market, right? So a niche is a small part of a larger market that it has its own specific needs, which are different from the larger market in some way. So let me give you guys an example. Let's take it back. So the market for computers is pretty huge, if you guys agree. But there are niche markets for student computers and gaming computers, which actually include different types of system requirements depending on the needs of the customer. So overall, in general, there's a lot of different, you could say, PCs, laptops, computers out there. That's a larger market. Everyone kind of needs it. But now if you want to go into the gaming industry, there's a certain type of software and system that's inside the laptops that's needed in order for it to run, so the computer isn't slow, freezes, lags, right? With all these different things. So now we're going into the gaming niche within a larger niche, which is everyone kind of has a PC, but not everyone's going to be a gamer. They just want an efficient laptop, but they don't want it at that level where it has nice graphics, it runs great, right? So there's all these factors. So gaming is within. So this is what a niche is. So we got to pick a specific niche with the services that we can offer. The question a lot of people ask is like, I don't know how to pick a niche. Do I need to pick one right away? Absolutely not. You do not need to pick a niche right away. But I'll tell you guys this, you do need to start experimenting and figuring out what businesses you are interested in servicing, right? It takes a lot of experimentation. So start right away. Start pitching different companies, different services. You'll know what you like working with, who you don't like working with, and the type of clients you like servicing, and vice versa. What I say is experiment for 3 to 7 months. Experiment 3 to 7 months, decide. And you guys see, I don't think short term anytime when it comes to business. Like, you're going to be in the social marketing business for a long time, especially if you decided to commit to learning and growing and building. So experiment for the next 3 to 7 months. See what you guys can do. You'll find some niches that you absolutely like, double down, you'll get results, you'll build case studies. And then from there, all you do is start pitching that niche, that business, show them case studies, duplicate the systems and processes within their business that you've done successfully in others. And you got a solid service here going, and you can start scaling that. That's another topic of how to scale, but this is just the beginning of experimenting. So you don't need to start right away with finding a niche, but you do need to start experimenting on the different niches and then the different services that you want to offer. So don't get so analysis paralysis and not take action the first month or two because you're trying to find a niche. Like, just do your research and then just start looking for clients, right? So your first few months, you can try a bunch of niches and figure out what you want and then focus on a niche. That's it. You just focus on one niche. First few months, try a bunch, 3 to 7 months, experiment as much as you can, take all out massive action. And then after that, you'll kind of know what you want to do. You'll kind of know what services and businesses you want to be able to help grow their brand and companies. And then this is where I talk about being a generalist versus a specialist. And here's a quick example. So, for example, like my dad, he's a mechanic. He does cars. And I asked him a lot of stuff about cars, and he doesn't do certain things in cars, but he knows a pretty good amount. So he specializes in things. So there's different things, whether it's you specialize in just transmission, just in engine, just in painting, just in the ECU, which is kind of like the brain of the car, right? These are all different types of a car. But for example, my dad doesn't do painting. He's like, I'd rather have you go to a professional, and you just go to certain shops where it's just auto body, where they just fix bodies like dents, or they help you put things together on the outer, but they don't focus on the engine. They don't focus on the transmission, and they only focus on the body and the paint, right? So these guys are very specialized in their niche. So this is an example taking the mechanics and the shops, the mechanic shops, and how they're very specialized in what they do. Or they also, going to all these mechanic shops, I have people that are like, oh, we don't do that, but we can, really help we can refer another person that can help. And that's what I do too with my services. If I can't do it, like I don't do a lot of social media growth or branding right now in this type of you could say season of my life. So I have people that are connected with influencers that can grow Instagrams, and I only do the paid side, but they want to do it through influencers and other ways of doing it, right? So I also know I don't say yes to everyone, and that's why you got to say, or ask yourself, are you a generalist or are you a specialist? Real quick, what a generalist is they don't have a niche. They don't niche down because they think they have more opportunity to secure more clients if they have 2 or 3 or 4 niches, which is actually the total opposite. Right? What you'll actually start to figure it out long term. You'll see the patterns of why you're not able to go past 10, 15, 20, 30K. And then the retainer, they actually struggle to get paid well from the retainers from clients because they view him as a generalist and not a specialist. So it's hard to get that monthly retainer because you're just doing so much, and sometimes you might not get the results because you're spreading you and your agency's services and time so thin. And that's what leads to burnout ultimately, because you have no systems. And that's why their operations, you're pretty much unorganized because you have to tweak your approach for every new client, and the way they execute is different in every niche. So it gets very inundated very, very quickly. This is the generalist type of lifestyle. And this is where a lot of agencies are at. And like I said, it's okay starting off, but scaling it and trying to go long term and building a 6-7 figure agency, or multiple 6-7 figure agency, you're not going to last being a generalist, right? It's very, very difficult. And this is why there's a new wave, which is the specialist route. And this is where a lot of people are succeeding out there. You've seen it time and time again. The specialists, they pick a niche, realizing they'll make more, earn more respect, and also deliver results easier with a niche. So you'll earn a lot of respect because you have authority in that niche. You can actually deliver results for your clients because you know their problems. You found out what their problems are, and you've created the solution, and you're bringing in results. You're bringing in the transformation. And the retainer, they actually stay consistent, and customers will be more happy to pay you without even thinking because you've positioned yourself as an authority in this space. And then with the operations, you're a lot more organized, you're streamlined, and you're focused. So this is ideally where you're trying to get after you've experienced or experimented for the last 3-7 months. And then you found your niche. You might even know where your niche is the first month. And then from there, you're just crushing it. You get results. You find your contractors. You know how to deliver the results, right? The transformation for the business, and the rest is history. So let me just share with you guys a quick profitable and common niches out there. So I'm just going to fairly go through this, take notes, take a screenshot if you guys want. The first one's gyms, or like gyms, personal trainers. These are very common, but doesn't mean there's not a lot. Real estate, restaurants, accountants, coaches and consultants in whatever industry they're teaching, car dealerships, dentists, info products, hair salons, chiropractors, e-commerce clients, anyone selling products digitally, online, physically, insurance, mortgage brokers, martial arts studios. I've seen quite a few that are asking for help. A lot of martial arts studios and jewelry. Right. So these are just a few common and profitable niches. There's a ton. You guys can really just look it up. You'll see a business and then just go into that niche and just start doing research. So these are the few profitable and common niches that you guys can help market for. So once you've picked a niche, number one is just research. Do your research. How to get clients for real estate, the best lead generation strategies for hair salons, right? So research what what also not just how to get the results, but also research a bit about their language. Know the language and actually share that. Know the language, right? How they talk. Because if you can speak to your clients in their language, then they're going to most likely be like, okay, this guy knows what they're talking about, right? So do a ton of research on the niche, know the language, understand the different types of problems. That's what we're researching. What's the problems? What are they having issues with? Obviously, it's getting leads. Obviously, it's getting more customers. That's pretty much every business's problem, is staying consistent. But find the problem of, okay, now this is their problem, but find out why that problem is even there. And how do you solve that? Because we know we have the solution through marketing. So how do we solve that? Number 4 is delivering the results on that problem. So research the niche. Once you've picked one, know the language, right? Speak their language, understand the problems, and then deliver the results. This is almost as simple as what the business model is. Obviously, there's a lot of technology, technicalities as marketing evolves, but I truly believe it's 80% mindset, and then the 20% the how-tos, the mechanics. So these are a bit about mindset and mechanics when it comes. A lot of it is mindset when it comes to being efficient and staying consistent. So quickly, why did I choose info products in e-commerce? Why am I selling digital and physical products online and helping other people do that? Number one is just my background and experience. You guys saw I work for Tai Lopez. I've done quite a few things. I've been selling things on eBay, Amazon. So I sell things in both physical and digital. So that's just what I've been interested in. So I said, why not just help other brands and people do that? You might be a person that's all about health and you want to help coaches, right? That are personal trainers that help with health, build out meal plans. So think about what it is. Also, not just what you're interested in, but what you're into too. But long-term, how do you want to operate and what kind of business do you want to be around? I love learning how things convert online. You might love people, or long-term, you might love how to invest. So you want to help people in the real estate industry. Whatever it is, just like I said, experiment. And the only way you're going to know what you want to do is if you experiment and actually do it. Not just case studies and what people have told you and what feels good, right? But what have you gone through and what has been confirmed inside you as far as like values and your vision, okay? And then 2 is I just like the scalability, like with local businesses, and I'm not doubting it, right? Like there's people crushing it with restaurants, there's people crushing it with barbershops. I just like the scalability. Like you can sell not just within the US or with local businesses, it's only targeting within your city. So depending on how big the city is how much more targeting can you do with info products and right, like digital products and physical, you can ship nationwide or even international, worldwide. So I just like the scalability of the business model. I just see it as like a long-term sustainability when it comes to working with different brands. So quickly, I'm just going to give you guys some services so you guys can note this down, write them down. So choosing your actual service. So paid traffic, which is kind of what I do. Paid traffic versus like management, like branding, building, social ROI versus the monetary ROI. And that's what we're talking about here. So social ROI is what I'm talking about here, which is kind of like the management, right? So you either do social media management, you're posting, you're using softwares, you're getting in front of already the people that are following the client, that know about them, that subscribe to them, graphic designing, content creation, blog posts, articles, podcasts, branding strategies. These are a lot of things that bring social proof, and you need social proof. This is very, very important. I tell a lot of clients that we work with, like, hey, you need a content creation team, whether it's a video editor, content creator, a graphic designer. You need these people that know how to launch podcasts and write articles and do all that and put them on. So then when people search you up, you have credibility. Social ROI is very important. And then the other side is monetary ROI. And these are just a few of the services. So these are services you guys can offer, right? Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, sales funnels, consulting. And consulting also is on the monetary ROI because you're consulting on different strategies to increase conversions, because people pay you based on the information and wisdom and knowledge you can do to build out the correct systems. And I think both are very, very important, because long-term sustainability, unless the client just needs strictly a management and you're going on like a lower retainer, I don't know how much people charge, like 997 or 2K to just run people's social media, post daily, create content. And then the thing is, how do we get new customers? That's why I like running traffic, paid traffic, because we're not just retargeting the existing customers. We're also running traffic to the cold audience, to new people, so that they can see this stuff, right? And then where do you find your team? So when it comes to fulfilling all these different services, let's say you don't know how to fulfill these services, then I tell people, hire a contractor, right? If you know how to do a service, then start off with that once you found the niche, and start offering that service, and then you can upsell them later down the line, and then you can experiment with Facebook ads if you want. It's up to you. This is all your business, how you operate, how you want to live your life. So I tell people, yeah, find a niche and then find services, find the problems, and then that's when you can start offering services. But once you found your niche and you know the problem that they have and you know the service that they can provide, that then that's all you do. That's what being a specialist is. But if you don't, this is actually where you find your team. Number one is you can find in your personal network. So if people that might be able to create content, or people that can run YouTube, Google ads, right, or Facebook ads, pay traffic on Instagram, if you know those type of people that can offer the solution towards your niche, first I'd reach out to my personal networks, like, hey, you know what, I'm starting a marketing agency or starting a marketing company, and I want to know if anyone has any experience in this space and want to hop on board. Right. So go ahead. You can post on your social media, say, hey, I'm looking for people. I do this all the time. When it comes down to it. And then another thing is Facebook groups. It's funny because the Facebook group notification just launched as I'm saying this. So this is divine. I have my Facebook pop up right now. So Facebook groups, right? Facebook groups are great. You can just type in like media buyer or Facebook ads, right? Or content creators, whatever. You can go on Facebook groups and find people and start posting and say, hey, I'm looking. And then another one is Upwork. There's a lot of different platforms just like Upwork. Upwork's a great place. It's still very active. So these are the places that you can go to find contractors, and what you might not find them on the first try, right? It's okay. You find your contractor, you know what they're doing, you know what they're up to, and then, hey, by the end of it, boom, you're starting to build a team. It's a long-term strategy. But once you find your contractors, then you can start looking, or vice versa, however you want. It's up to you. People ask, RC, would you rather me find a contractor first? I say, you know what? Yeah, I mean, if you can't provide results, then go look for a contractor while you're looking for people. I'll guarantee you, when you find a client, you'll figure out a way to find a contractor super quick to just help, that you're very, very comfortable with. And it might just be an experiment, right? It's a learning and growing process. Nothing's going to be perfect in business. The only important thing is you're taking a step forward every single day. So this is how you find your team and start building, whether it's one person starting off or it's just a one-man show, it's just you and you know how to do it, then it's up to you. So quickly, we're just going to go over the recap of everything we've went through. I hope you guys really took a lot of information from this. Quick recap. We're talking about like the growth of the SMMA industry. I believe there's like statistics out there where like, I believe it's like 500,000 plus, right? There's like 500,000 plus businesses, right? You ask yourself, how many businesses are getting started every single year? And then every single month, like what's the growth of businesses every single year, every single month? Let me actually see how many, because it's always changing. It's always changing, but the growth of SMMA is is huge. It's huge. There's a lot of getting started. There's pretty much a lot of businesses getting started in different industries because people are saying, hey, like is SMMA getting saturated? No, there's over 500,000 businesses getting started every single year, and yeah, there's a ton that fail, but there's a ton that are just getting started, brand new businesses, and they're not all going to do marketing. They're not. Social media is going to grow. There's going to always be attention online. It's only growing as life is moving forward. So that's why the importance of being able to become a specialized person, build authority in your brand. People will respect you. You'll have way more output. You'll be able to make way more money. You'll be able to charge clients way more than just being a generalist. So SMMA, social media marketing, is only going to be growing from here on out. And then we talked about choosing a niche, understanding the niche's problem, solving that problem, finding clients, which I'm actually going to be sharing you guys a resource on how to find clients, and then providing results. Once you've found a niche, now it's just finding clients in that niche. And that's all it is. You're always going to be looking for new clients. You're always going to be looking for new clients. I say don't ignore your clients right now that you're currently serving. Once you've landed them, you want to get the best results because you're going to get case studies, testimonies from them. So you're finding clients, but also you're providing the results for those clients. But you're always looking for clients. You're always on the go. You're always wanting to grow. You're always wanting to not just rely on your portfolio, whether you're growing 1 or 2 clients a month, right? That fresh blood, it gets you excited. You and your team, you're able to scale. You're able to really grow and build out your agency for what it's worth. Okay, so this is the recap of what we gone through. You guys can go back into this if you want, watch a replay, go through everything. I know there was a lot of details. There was a lot of meat that you guys can take in, but I wanted to really pull back the curtains and show you guys how to start off on the right foot. And just with this training alone, I know you guys can get started. There's probably a lot of details that you guys can YouTube, Google, whatever it is, go for it. But this is the core foundation of getting started and providing true results for clients and being able to know how to start and grow an agency from $0 to $10,000. Right. And I'm all about transformation. I'm all about results. And there's ways to do that. That's the mechanics. But what I'm teaching guys is the framework, the foundation, the mindset of getting started with an agency. And then the last thing that I'm going to be showing you guys is what's next. So what is next? How to get started? What is the next thing when it comes down to learning and growing and building a business around your lifestyle, your vision, your beliefs, your values? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a free resource, okay? A free resource on how to do this, because I think once you guys found this, you're like, okay, RC, I've picked a niche. I've figured out kind of like some services. I've looked them up. I've done what I've done, but now how do I get clients? Because that's honestly what gets you started. You want to get started and you want to get a client, because your client, you're never going to forget your first client. I never forgot my first client. I'm not working with them now, like, almost 2 years later, but I will never forget, because I started my agency full time within these last few years, but I've been consulting and doing a lot of stuff in this space, from selling products and seeing the whole customer acquisition, that whole system, right? How to get them from a lead and to a customer. So you're gonna be excited once you get this, because what you do is once you find the lead, now you're teaching or you're doing it for other clients. So you got to know how to find leads. You need a predictable system on how to do this. So I'm going to give you guys a free resource. And if you guys go to this website, rcsimon.com/alpha free. Okay, so www.rcsimon.com/alpha free. And this is where you guys are going to be getting that free PDF. And I'm also going to break down, I'll give you guys a quick training on the PDF, what I mean, how to find the leads, and what I do consistently on all these different platforms. And these are just the 5 main ways of how I've done it. Doesn't mean that they're the only way, but they're the ones that have worked for me and how I've landed my clients. So I'm all about how to find leads on these different platforms. So you guys can go to it, www.rcsimon.com/alpha free. And if you guys actually see these gift emojis right below this video, if you just click on the gift emojis, it'll automatically take you to this free resource. When you get to that page, it'll probably be a video and then also a link on accessing this free resource so you guys can study it, you guys can use it, you can have it. It's all yours. But what I wanted to do is with just this whole training, I wanted to reframe your guys' mindset. I wanted to recap about just marketing and building an agency overall, from being going from generalist to specialist, from being able to pick a niche, from being able to find your service, how to fulfill your service, where to find your team, right? Where to find your contractors. And then once you got all that established, it's like, okay, like now how do I actually get a client? So this is where I teach more on how to get a client, where to find the leads, because a lot of people have trouble with building a client acquisition system. And I think I've mastered it recently. If you guys have been following me recently, I've been doing this and building stuff on how to get clients for a really long time. But I haven't been as consistent as I should have. But I took it on a different light. I shifted the way that I've communicated who I am, my services, my brand, and I think I've pretty much cracked the code on being able to do this. So I teach a lot of this. You guys can check out my YouTube, get this free resource, Alpha Free. And if you guys do have any questions, you guys can message me. However you guys saw this, you guys can find me on all different types of social medias. But yes, I truly want to just thank you guys for staying this whole time. I know there's a lot of things you guys can be doing out there, like actually growing and running the business, but it's very, very important to learn, educate yourself every single day. So if you're watching this late at night or during the day while you're at a place that you don't want to work at, or you're just getting up, right? And this is the first thing, it's always good to listen to good things. And I hope this was something that can educate you guys, give you guys enough fire, power, belief to know that, man, this is something that I can actually do. This is a business model that I can build, because my social media agency pretty much changed my life. I fought it for so long because it was growing. It was so saturated and there was a lot of people doing it that I almost got numb to running it because I thought everyone did it. And I had to switch my belief. I was like, man, it's a high profit business model where you don't need to go and do things up front, like pay for ads or pay for inventory or establish an expensive, business right off the gate where I need a big type of investment to get started. You don't. All you need is just your belief to do this and a vision to keep going. You just need the belief and the vision, and that's all I had. And if you do this right, you can profit anywhere from 70 to 90% profit after you've paid your contractors, after you've paid, if you're running any type of monthly fees. Like as I grew my agency, my softwares that I use, because I want it to be more streamlined, started to scale up. So obviously my expenses every month increased, but I was very strategic with my expenses. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot running it versus consulting people when I first started. And then now I'm doing a little bit hybrid of consulting and running my own so that I'm always fresh in the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, thank you guys so much for being here until the end. Get that free PDF, get the training, start finding leads, land your first client, hopefully in these next 15 to 30 days, maybe even sooner. I know people that landed a client the same week that they've learned just a few techniques. All it is the action you take. Like, remember we talked about that gap from your current state to your future state, your desired state, your current self to your desired self. That's literally, how do you bridge that gap? I think it's taking action with the wisdom, the knowledge, the right information, the right wisdom, the right knowledge, and then putting it into action, putting it into a position where you've experimented and you probably failed a few times, but hey, a righteous man falls 7 times, but they get back up again. So keep getting back up, knowing that business, you're always going to fall at certain times, certain stages. There's a season for everything, but you'll get right back up and you'll just keep pushing through. So thank you guys again. Wishing much prosperity, blessings to you guys going through your new journey. I appreciate again your attention, your time, your efforts. Let's go ahead, opt in, get that PDF, and listen to the short training that I have for you guys on how to quickly and efficiently, effectively find clients. Take care, guys. Much love. Love y'all. Take care. Bye.